the brain.
7 to 8%.
Yeah, it's 2% of your body weight.
Is there
but
any other
it consumes about 1/5 of the body energy.
Is there any other organ in the body which functions on 8% efficiency? If your lungs go at 30%, you're put on the ventilator.
Therefore, it is arguably the crucial part of the human body, and I mean, that's what differentiates, I suppose, a human being from others, no?
Then what is the 92% doing?
You tell me.
That is what is yoga. When you talk about the body and the mind is actually that whole 100%. It is not that 8%. That 8% is sufficient and good enough for your 5 basic senses. They are satisfied, you are happy, you live around in the day, throughout the day, you enjoy yourself. It is just that 7 to 8% which is functional. What about the 92%? What are we doing about that? Yoga is awakening those higher senses in the body with the help of the brain, because whatever experience you have in yoga, it is shown to the body only through the brain. Because once your brain dead, there is no memory, there is nothing, you're finished. But as long as your brain is active, you have the ability to access the higher energies. That is what is yoga. The balance in the mind and the body at different planes of existence. This is not the only body we have, and that 8% is not the only brain we have. The brain goes till 100%, and the body goes to various layers like Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. Balancing this with those layers of the brain is what is yoga, a gradual evolution. Now, to explain this.
No, before you explain it, you haven't actually fully answered 2 questions I've raised. But I need to take a break in my program.
Okay.
So after the break, I want you to explain not only the point where I interrupted you, the body and the mind, and why we as human beings are unable to realize the full potential of our brain, 92% of it. I want to go back to 2 points. Why has yoga become such a big business? 2, why are so many people today claiming that one of India's gifts to humankind is yoga and the power of yoga? Why have they suddenly woken up to what, as you rightly pointed out, is tens of thousands of years old and has been certainly documented over 4,000 years ago? So these are some of the questions I want you to explain in greater detail, but I need to take a break in my program, Yogi ji, and I'll be back with you. This is a discussion on the power of yoga, the power of the human brain. Stay with us. We'll be back with you in a very short while from now. Welcome back to our conversation on the power of yoga. I have with me here in the studio of LokSabha television Yogi Ashwini of Dhyan Foundation. Yogi ji, let's get back to the points that we were discussing. You were saying that most of us don't realize that we utilize such a small percentage of the power of our brain. Is this true of all human beings? Or is it that a superior human being, a person who's able to make a mark in society, is a person who's able to utilize a greater proportion of her or his brain power?
The brain at the primary level controls the 5 senses in the body, the basic 5 senses. Now every sense has a outer limit to its efficiency. Like the sense of touch, there's a limit to it, you cannot go beyond that. The sense of sight, there's a limit to it, you can't go beyond that.
Hearing,
there's a limit
taste.
to everything, yeah. There's a limit to it all. Once you reach that limit, it is finished then. You need now something else, and that something else which you need is what is yoga, and what is the higher activation of the brain. Now for a person who's done well in the basic physical life, I mean your question is that people who are basically in the physical life who are doing very well, who have excelled in the physical life.
You used to be a sportsman, right?
Yeah, I have played a lot of games.
Okay.
So those basic abilities are only directed by the 5 senses and the 8% of the brain. That is the limit. Higher senses, it's something like if one has not got the sense of sight, I cannot explain to you what is the beauty in sight. Somebody who can't hear, I can't explain to you what is the beauty in music. Similarly, what is the beauty in these higher centers of the brain, the kind of experiences which happen there, I can't explain to you till you go through the processes of yoga. That's why in Dhyan Foundation we believe in, not in knowledge, we believe in Gyan. Anybody who comes to us, it is an experience which you live yourself.
And you also, in Dhyan Foundation, I understand, believe in selfless service. That means you serve with no expectation for some return. Am I correct? Okay. I want to ask you a few questions about how you look at greed, lalach. A person who has no shirt, he wants one shirt, no? After he has one shirt, he wants 2, then he wants 10, then he wants 100. Then some people become like Imelda Marcos of the Philippines. There's going to be a museum of her shoes, you know that. Or same as Jayalalitha. She acted in hundreds of films, so she has thousands of saris because she had to change saris 10 times in each film. Or take Ramalinga Raju of Satyam. He had only 1,000 suits, you know. It took him 3 years. He had to wear a new suit every day. He still couldn't complete his wardrobe. What is true for individuals may be true for society as a whole, that we have to distinguish between our need and our greed. But we as individuals and we as a society, we fail to distinguish between our need and our greed. Why do we do that?
Because we do not follow the tenets of yoga. We do not have a guru. The concept of guru is there only in this country. And the people of this country have been so satisfied in history that there has been no aggression on any neighbor. We have been so satisfied with ourselves because we have had a guru. The countries which have not had a guru, which have had masters and teachers, they have been